What's going on, guys? It's Tom. I'm back with another video. Hey, on this one I wanted to talk about, some tourist visa, or visa information in general, right? Some stuff that is sort of seems to be changing. But also I wanted to let you know that I did get my passport, which was I had to renew my passport like in the last, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months, or whatever it was, 6 months ago. I don't know when I started the process, but it was about 2 months to renew my passport here in the Philippines. It's a U.S. passport, but I did it through the mail. I did it pretty much through the mail, paid and everything, and then they delivered it to me. I do have an address here that helps. If you live in a house or you're renting a house sometimes in the Philippines, the addresses can be kind of sketchy. In fact, sometimes the addresses in the subdivisions, especially in the province areas, it's almost like the property description of your title for your property in the United States. If you ever seen a title or a deed, it's like a paragraph long, and that's almost sometimes what addresses can be here if you're in like the in the province areas. Uh, it'll mention everything. The subdivision. It's really long. It's like 2 lines or something. If you're writing it out. But if you're in a condo and you have an address like I do, like we do, it's good. It's a lot easier. It's a solid address. Anyway, so I got that done. I got the passport renewed. That was pretty smooth. I think it was $130, I believe, the cost of it, and I believe they sent it to me LBC, if I remember right. They when they sent it to me, I think. Although there is a company that the embassy uses, but I don't know if they might have used them. I can't remember on that one, but it's not. It's very cheap. You know what I mean? Like it's like 200 pesos or something. Or less. You know, Actually, I think it was less than that. So anyway, that was a pretty smooth experience, and I did a video on that. So if you're interested in finding out how to do that or whatever, I did a whole video on it. Just go to my channel and scroll through. It's fairly recent, like it would be within the last 6 months. You know, um, I got like 260 some videos, but if you just look at the like I said, the last 6 months or whatever. Uh, Now, okay, so since I have an SRV visa, okay, since 2020, early 2023, like February. So it's been about a year and a half that I've had the SRV visa. And I got a new passport that I just mentioned. So you have to restamp and put the SRV page into your new passport. You have to have that done, okay? So it was pretty smooth too, but it did take about 2 months also. And the way this worked was I went to the PRA office, in Makati initially, right? And not only did I do that, but I also extended my Visa card because I only did 1 year, like in February, like 6 months ago, because I knew this was coming. So when I did this, I also extended my Visa card another year, because now you can do 2 years instead of just 1 year. And it's only $10 a year, or whatever, 550 pesos, a year. So I killed two birds with one stone. I went there and I took care of that, and I did this, gave them all my information, my passports, old and new, for the restamp. Okay, so then the PRA deals with the BOI to get that done, and the PRA said it'll be 2 months, and it was. It was like exactly 2 months. I will say, the PRA is pretty. When they tell you something, they do it. You know what I mean? And it's like there's no like, oh, it'll be done in 2 weeks, and then it takes 2 months. No, they'll tell you up front like how long it's going to take. Um, so they're pretty efficient. They really are. Um, Now, when I've gone there for like just for extensions or whatever, like depending on what you're doing, but sometimes you might be there for 2 or 3 hours because if it's before lunch, and then like you might have to wait an extra hour, you know what I mean? Just because of the during the lunch period, there's not as many people working on whatever task you're getting done. So then, it could take an extra hour, you know what I mean? So something that you think might take only 1 hour might take 2 hours. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So I got that taken care of, and what I was thinking of though, and this is on the same subject of visas. With these new tourist visa changes, and they're not really changes, they're just that the BOI is going to start really sort of questioning, guys that are on tourist visas, especially if you're here more than a year, right? Like after a year of, 1 year, at a time or whatever, not like 3 months and then go home and then come back. But when you're here consistently for 1 year, after that, they're going to start questioning you, right? Now, I know that there's guys, especially, in Dumaguete or whatever, but there's expats that are probably all over the Philippines that instead of like every 2 months, it used to be they could do every 6 months, but now it's down to every 2 months because they did away with the 6 month extensions. So instead of them, the expats themselves, going to the Bureau of Immigration every 2 months and doing their extensions, they would hire visa companies, visa agencies, right, to do it for them. And, they paid the agency whatever they paid them. I don't know what they were charging. Maybe they charged an extra 500 pesos or something, or maybe they charged an extra 1,000 pesos. I don't know. I've never done that. I've never had them do that when I had the tourist visa, when I was here for the first like 8 months or whatever. So, but I guess my question is, right, if they're going to be questioning guys after a year, that means they're going to want to do a face to face with the expat. They can't use an agency at that point, right? Because they're going to be questioning you, and I don't even know, even if you're here for 6 months or something like that, how's that going to work? Like these agencies might wind up losing some money here, because they make they're a lot of their money that way, probably just doing tourist visa extensions, not just like SRRV extension, applications and all that, but, actual just tourist visa extensions. So I wonder how that's going to work. And like I said, especially after the 1 year mark, because I guess you could do it online, right? At least up to a year, but then after that, I think they want to see you in person. So that's one question I got. You guys could chime in if you want. I would appreciate your comments. Um, and if you like the content, I really would love it if you just hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already doing so. I really appreciate it. Um, Now also, I saw a video the other day, and that talked about this info dude uh, in the Philippines was talking about he talked to somebody at the PRA that because he was just there, I guess, like recently, and he talked to some guy who had just been there for a few months, I guess, and I have to go back and look at and see what his title was. It was something to do with security or something, and I actually went to their website yesterday, the PRA, and I couldn't find this guy anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't find him listed, his name, and the email address was a Gmail address, and it wasn't like the government, address that most of these guys have that work for the PRA. So I don't know, but supposedly they were saying, oh, they're not going to allow the or they want to know the names of these visa agencies that have been charging people, the expats, extra to get their SRRV visas, right? In other words, whoever helps you get your SRRV, they already get their $500 or whatever from the fee that you're paying. There's like a $1,400 fee that you pay, okay? And he was trying to say that they get $500 out of that. So then if they're in turn charging you an additional $500 or whatever thousand, he was naming like up to 2,000 or something, then they're not supposed to do that. Now, just so you know, I mean, I did hire a company, and it was $500, and that included a consultation before I started everything. I did I don't know, it was like 30-minute consultation or something like that, and it would have been $50, but they just put it toward the amount that you're going to pay them. You know what I mean? So you do the consultation, and then it's like, you're gonna you pay them like another $450 or whatever, when you hire them. Okay, so it's a total of $500. Um, but and I started the process in the U.S. I wasn't here when I started the process. There's certain things that you can do in the U.S. Um, so anyway, so that my situation was like that. So I kind of I felt like I really, you know, I was still in the U.S. and I wanted to initiate the process. So how am I going to do that without an agency? You know what I mean? And you might be in a similar situation too, right? So, but anyway, so I don't know if the company I used is an accredited visa agency on the PRA website, and there are several. There's a lot of agencies that are like accredited with them. And then it says like on the PRA website, like you can, if you want to use an agency, you can, or you can, whatever, do it by yourself or whatever. Like it says that. It's kind of like a little disclaimer thing on the PRA site, you know, when you're in that section of the website. So anyway, that would be something that I guess would be kind of interesting too, right? Like if they really were going to crack down on that, then some of these visa agencies might wind up, obviously losing money. So I don't know how that's going to work. But like I said, I couldn't find this guy on in their directory or anything, and so I don't know. But I'm assuming, I mean, the guy said he talked to him there at the PRA, so whatever. Got to take him at his word, right? So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what's going on with that. But yeah, everything is cool though. I mean, the restamping, and with the new passports, by the way, like if you got one, like obviously my last passport was over 10 years ago in 2014, and at that time there was only 30 pages in the passport. Now there's 50, in the new passports. And the other difference is the passport number is actually sort of etched in every page. It's like almost like it's hole punched or whatever, like on every page. It's not like stamped or written or typed. It's like hole punched. So yeah, it's pretty good. And there's like the one page, and then there's like another picture that's almost like a copy that's embedded into the page, like a picture of you, right? And then there's the original color picture or whatever, I think it might be black and white, but it's more, you can tell it's an actual sort of picture that was transferred over and not just a copy of a picture. And then, when you have an SRV, you flip that page over, the signature page and all that, and then the SRV thing will be in there, and it's not a stamp, it's like a whole page, it's like a laminated page, and it says on there, on the new stamp in the new passport, it'll say at the bottom that it was transferred over from passport number, and then they give your last passport number, because I asked the guy at the PRA, I said, do I need to bring my old passport if I travel out of the country? Because they're going to want to know maybe like, hey, when did you last arrive in the Philippines? Because there's no stamps in the new passport. You know what I mean? Like they don't transfer that over. They just transfer the SRV, stamp or whatever. It's not really a stamp, but a page. And he said, no, sir, you can just, you don't need your old passport. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to bring it. I didn't say that, but I was just like, I'm going to bring it, because he's probably right. But then maybe the guy at the airport doesn't know, you know what I mean? And then you're going through the airport and they're like, well, when did you come here, sir? Like, even though you got your SRV card, you got the page and the passport and all that, which gives the origination date of that, but it doesn't show when you arrived in the Philippines. And I'm just thinking, I don't know, somebody might want to know that. So I'm going to bring the old passport, at least the first time, until I get an actual stamp in the new passport, like a return stamp or whatever. Until then, when if I'm leaving, I'm bringing the old one. So I would recommend doing that if you're in the same situation as me. If you just got that done or whatever, I would do that, Even though it's got a hole punched through it and all that, but it still has the stamps in there. Your most recent, like when you first arrived here, for me, over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, right? So anyway, that's about it, guys. I just wanted to talk about this. So, like I said, if you guys got any questions, man, don't hesitate to comment. And that's all for now, man. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. But I appreciate you guys looking at these videos too, because, I'm here. I'm just trying to provide information for you guys. That's what I'm doing. So, all right, man. I'll see you later.